Once upon a time, there lived a young girl who was feeling very frustrated with life. It seemed like everything was going wrong for her. She felt overwhelmed by the challenges she faced each day, and she didn't know how to cope. One afternoon, feeling particularly down, she decided to talk to her father. She trusted him and knew he always had wise advice to share. She found him in the garden, tending to his plants. "Father," she said, her voice filled with sadness, "life is so difficult. I don't know what to do when things go wrong. It feels like I am constantly facing hardships." Her father listened patiently, his eyes filled with understanding. When she finished speaking, he smiled gently and said, "Come, my dear. I will show you something." He led her inside the house and to the kitchen. On the counter, he placed 3 bowls. In each bowl, he put something different. In the first bowl, he placed a raw egg. In the second bowl, he put a hard potato. And in the third bowl, he placed some loose tea leaves. Next, her father filled 3 separate pots with water and placed them on the stove. He turned on the heat and waited until the water in each pot began to boil vigorously. Once the water was boiling, he carefully took the raw egg and placed it in one of the pots. Then, he took the hard potato and placed it in the second pot. Finally, he took the loose tea leaves and placed them in the third pot of boiling water. The girl watched curiously, wondering what her father was trying to show her. She saw the egg bubble in the hot water, the potato tumble around, and the tea leaves swirl and spread their color through the water. They waited patiently for a few minutes, the kitchen filled with the sound of bubbling water. Her father did not say a word, but his eyes held a knowing glint. After about 15 minutes, her father turned off the stove. He carefully took the egg out of the first pot and placed it in a bowl. Then, he scooped the potato out of the second pot and placed it in another bowl. Finally, he strained the tea from the third pot into a cup. He then turned to his daughter and said, "Now, my dear, look closely." He picked up the egg and asked her to peel it. She carefully removed the shell, and they both observed the egg. The once soft, liquid inside had become firm and hard. Next, he picked up the potato. He showed her how the once hard and firm potato had become soft and tender after being in the boiling water. It could be easily mashed. Finally, he held up the cup of tea. The hot water, which had initially been clear, had now been completely transformed by the tea leaves. It had taken on a new color, a new aroma, and a new taste. Her father then explained, "My daughter, these 3 things, the egg, the potato, and the tea leaves, each faced the same adversity, boiling water. But each one responded differently." The young girl thought about her father's words. She began to understand that while she couldn't always control the difficulties that came her way, she could control how she responded to them.